Hey, hello everyone. This is Alfred, and I'm the head of partnership for APAC or for Mparticle. Very nice to meet you, everyone. So today, what I'm going to talk about is about driving real-time personalizations. To really start with this topic, right? A lot of companies they talk about personalization, especially for all the vendors or that has the presentation today. But what actually personalization? The thing is, different people has different expectations for the personalization itself. So I might probably or expect like personalization across all the touch points with me, but probably Mr. Min might have another definition about personalizations. It has to match with what customer expectation would be. But from a company or from the CMO perspective, all these personalization we want to drive two things, which is the two key things for the business. One is about winning more customers. Second is winning more revenue for the business. I think no one would disagree about like why we need to do personalization and what can we achieve with the outcome of the personalization. It has to be go into these directions. However, what we see is, or especially in last couple of years, some of the basic personalization is literally not working, or I would say not working, which produce FH result. For example, company doing like static segmentation, demographic-based segmentation, just simply separate customer into male, female, adjust their name by giving them the headline in the image itself. It's actually not working because this is the basic understanding or the basic expectation from the customer already. And today, our customer expect more than this one, all right? And this is the reason why we need to start considering what happens if we can give our customer individual experience and driving it in real time, right? A lot of companies want to achieve this, but today what I also want to talk about is what actually make them hesitate to do this. So in the reality, as I said, many companies want to drive the personalization, like real-time personalization, or what happens if I open the mobile app and you immediately give me a push, and then if I make a purchase of a pizza, you immediately recommend me to do something else to do it real time. And in fact, there's some key challenges we see in the market today. One is customer data infrastructure not built for marketer. All right, a lot of company or lots of clients, especially that we're working with, they were fairly strong in the data team. They built probably amazing data warehouse, consolidate data in one single places. But there's some kind of disconnection between the data engineering team and the marketing team. So how to bridge the gap and how to allow marketer easy access to the customer data and easily perform their personalization in real time is become a big question mark for the customer. Second is the customer journey become more complex. Looking at what Capillary mentioned just now about like the amazing loyalty program, what Max Panel mentioned before, building amazing or product analytic and customer analytic for the business. The expectation is getting higher and higher, and our customer data is actually having an exponential growth. These complex of expectation that require fairly close working relationship between the marketing team and data engineering team. And this is where the business facing challenge today. The last part is about business struggling with data chaos. Data chaos is talking about a lot of changes in the business itself, the changes of the requirement, changes of the system, all right, all the time, every year. So when we speak to a customer, right, it's very frequent. Most of the customer probably having like 10 different SDK installed in the mobile app, 15 different solutions already installed with the company. If I want to have a touch of one single source, I probably need to adjust different pieces of puzzle together. And these would literally lead to what the data chaos that we want to talk about. And that is more than that, right? Privacy regulation, data quality, data governance, I think, or we might share also address some of these challenges today as well. So there's a lot of challenge of doing like the real-time personalization. And what we want to share with you today is how we can build a path for you to achieve the real-time personalization by starting at looking at how we build a right first-party data foundations, and then create a single view of the customer and really lead you to build the real-time personalization. The reason why we want to build a path here is a lot of companies actually have their focus on the revenue itself. As I mentioned before, personalization want to bring us more customer and more revenue. But actually it should be a good balance in between the revenue and also driving the operational efficiency, how to let your data team and marketing work better, how to make the whole marketing operation, marketing spending to become smarter. That is actually help you to also control your costs as well. Let me start with the first one, first-party data foundations. Please have a look on this conversation. It's actually a conversation between the marketer and also the data engineering team. A marketer will just make the purchase, make the decision to purchase an article. They drop a message to the data engineering team and said, oh, and the data engineer said, oh, you don't need to bother me anymore because you now have the piece of the first-party data that you can play around, integrate by yourself, and start doing the personalization by yourself. It's actually very common, especially in Southeast Asia, Singapore or Thailand. They all saying, oh, how marketers want to get more data engineering team or struggle to give. So there's a lot of conflict in between. One of the reasons behind is we see more and more requirements from the marketing team, especially the exponential growth of data and the SDK available in the market. And don't forget, the business want to keep update to the market environment and make sure they have the right tool to tackle different types of business problems. Starting from like the product usage, attributions, user scoring, loyalty, many different solutions come together. And this is also what is the ecosystem, what we learned today. And there's one big assumption behind to make this ecosystem work together. Is the data is clean, the data is structured, standardized, harmonized, with good quality across the whole ecosystem. So this is something we need to start. The reason why I said probably the first step is to build a good foundation of the first-party data to really lead your journey to growth, to also drive the real-time personalizations. Let's look at the challenges more in depth. The very first challenge, or I think is very obvious, is about many integrations. If you're looking at a simple organization structure, 5 different touch points with the customer with 5 different destinations, 15 different SDK or script available on the website, which will lead to 60 different combinations of the integrations. So imagine if you want to maintain something in-house or maintain something integration between tools and tools, sometimes it's literally quite hard to do so. And this is also the reason why a customer data platform is positioned to help you to literally take this heavy lifting with a customer data platform. Data available everywhere. Sorry. The second part is about the data quality. I think data quality is very important. As I have a couple of conversations with some of you today, a lot of people probably have amazing marketing automation tools, amazing analytic tools, but what happens if from the beginning, at the time you collect the data quality is not as good, which also lead to a problem of, oh, I may not be able to drive the analytic that I want. I may not be able to drive the personalization that I expected. A very common use case is I have like 6 different source of data, and 6 different sources of data probably have different definition or that have different data schema, okay, or to represent the same thing. So imagine one piece data, they can easily go to a data warehouse, no problem. Yeah, you can store all the data in a single data warehouse to consolidate the data, but what happens, you cannot merge the profile together. Okay, how you can analyze your customer behavior with a messy data quality like this. So this is also the reason why we need to address the data quality problem, and it's actually a very important and foundation problem to address before we start looking at the whole data ecosystem. So the solution here, or the first step that I would advise company to look at, is building the data foundations, making use of tools like mParticle to consolidate your data from multiple sources, we emphasize one thing, it's not just about consolidation or unification of the data, but we transform the data and make sure the data quality that we process is unified and also in a good shape to power up all your destination. This is very important, and probably a lot of companies, when they start evaluating their whole data ecosystem, this might be a missing point when they start doing like the data audit or when they start looking at their first-party data infrastructure. So this is the first step. So some of the companies that we work with, for example, like Vimo, or we work with them mainly to address about these data quality problems. They have so many data sources, all right? They have multiple usage within their mobile app. And one of the key challenges that they're facing is non-uniform data implementation across all different sources. And with mParticle, what they are able to achieve, you can see the result at the bottom. So they reduce 50% of their time, of their cost. With other vendors, they can be able to collect 130 million plus events every day with clean and structured data with mParticle. And another one that we're working very closely with is HBO, all right? HBO Max, there's a mobile app that doing like the video streaming. One of the key problems is connecting all the source of data into one single place and orchestrate to power up their personalization. How many of you using Spotify today? All right, Spotify just launched their AI recommendation, and that is actually powered by mParticle. One of the challenge for them is how to ingest so much of the data, make sure data quality is correct and able to power the downstream application. Similar challenge that HBO is facing, and what we can help them by doing so, because HBO sometimes they want to change from one system to another system, or they want to integrate new tools, and we help them by using a CDP, save over thousands of their engineering time and saving them the resources by fixing the data quality and building up the first-party data foundations. So after I have the first-party data foundations, what will be the second step? Building up a single view of the customer. So building up a first-party data foundation and single view of customer is two different things, right? You can have data consolidate into one data warehouse or in one single places, but it not necessarily the identity or the profile is being able to merge together. What we want to do is to build some actionable data for the business to start powering up the personalization. Remember, ultimately we want to do real-time personalization, but we need to build our good foundation cost for that. One of the key challenges we see from the market is about data applications. The phase-out of the third-party cookie, the personalization or data is silo, unable to track, especially the iOS 14.5. They start getting challenge of tracking the customer data. So these are the challenges that really impacting the customer lifetime value across all the business unit, all right, especially for multi-brand business. So what we should do is really making use the first-party data you have, snitching the customer profile, snitching their information, and try to build a single view of the customer. And what will be a good single view of customer look like? I would say that consists of 4 key elements. One is give you the real-time information. Because with the real-time information, how can you do the real-time personalization? I think this is a very pretty straightforward understanding of a good single view for the customer. Second is about identity, right? I was in a conversation with one of the customers in Southeast Asia. They are asking, mParticle, or what is your view of probabilistic of merging customer profile versus deterministic? I said, probabilistic is very good concept because you can kind of using AI machine learning try to merge the profile together. But my question to the marketer is, do you have confidence of using the profile after using probabilistic data profile merging? Because there is still a small risk you're merging one profile together, right? And making the data back to a back quality stage that you cannot use for personalizations, right? So make sure when you start looking at a single field customer, there's only one customer profile and merging together. Another part is, of course, like anonymous to non-customer. That's not repeat today because there's so many vendors talking about this today already. So to build a good customer data context, we're also looking at how to merge their profile together. I think this is pretty simple, straightforward, but so important to have all those customer profiles merging into one. So after we build the data, fix the data quality, you will be able to have the customer profile that is clean and easily identified to merge into one single profile. And after that, you will be able to throw all this data into the downstream application as you wish, and start doing your personalization in real time. One more thing to address about building customer profile, data privacy, right? How many of you will accept the allow app to track your mobile app behavior after you download the mobile app on iOS? 2, 3, right? So business is really struggling, scratching their head. Oh, if I don't have the behavior, what can I do for analytics? What can I do for personalization? There's always business want more data, but customer want to gain more control. So this is really a challenge to build the confidence, to build the trust with the customer. So with this, we also need to look at the whole data infrastructure. How do we control the data privacy? Especially the rule in the market, of course, a couple of years back in GDPR, but now in Southeast Asia, more and more business countries is now introducing the data privacy rule. So one of the very important ideas is to have the unify the customer profile built and control what kind of data is able to flow through to your downstream to make sure when you start powering up your first-party data for personalization, you're not violating any privacy regulation and match with what customer give you consent. Right. So second step, as I mentioned, is creating the customer profile. Gain the trust or build a single view of customer across the channel, and also let your customer give you build a confidence with your customer of share more data with you, because you can also have the confidence of making use of these data to match with what customer consents given to you. One of our customer in US, they are online or marketplace of selling center. So one of the key challenge for them is to really understand what customer wants and deliver the personalization at the right channel at the right time. Because the problem for them is they're spending too much on Facebook advertising, on Google advertising, on campaign orchestrations, because they don't understand, oh, what happens if your customer responds to you on Google? I should be able to stop the advertising on Facebook, right? So at least for a short period of time, how to maximize the effect of marketing spending. By building the single view of customer, we successfully help them to save 35% of their marketing spend, because we can help them to make better advertising or spend or management. So after we build the good first-party data foundations and then the single view of customer, the last is start looking at the real-time personalization. How do we start engaging with the customer and start generating more revenue? And the personalization, as I mentioned before, it has to go beyond basic. It's no longer just like gender, name, but we need real-time what happened, personalization across your product impressions, what happened if your customer abandoned cart, and in real-time what you can do with them. So in here, we can start have an introduction of like AI machine learning. Try to use AI machine learning to tell you what kind of segment that we should engage them, what kind of product that we should recommend to the customer in real time. How should we do uplifting? How do we do modeling? Or whether we should run some linear regressions to predict what kind of customer that we should start engaging. And this literally can happen in real time. Some of the marketers, they always think, oh yeah, we have this already, we have the product recommendation. Thinking about if you can do across the channel on email, mobile, you can do chat prevention, you can start looking at increase your mobile app conversion by providing like real-time push notification. In ad tech, you can better manage your ad spending by not repeating the advertisement to your customer. We're not just looking at personalization to grow your revenue, but we also try to help you to look at how to better spend your marketing budget across all these channels. And at the end, we want to maintain your marketing spend with additional solution and driving a better result and better conversion. As a key mention today, real-time personalization, and why real-time really matter. Thinking about what I just mentioned today, all right, about building the first-party data foundation, and then start building the customer profile, considering the data quality that we need to concern, and also we need to transform the data, and also building the data privacy control. There's a huge process on the data itself, right? If you do not have like a customer data platform help you to manage the end-to-end data processing and what I always call it data pipeline, it would take probably days to complete this process and to start powering your personalization. So with a customer data platform like what mParticle does, is we can help business to complete this whole data process in real time. And in fact, your customer make a purchase somewhere, in real-time data go through mParticle, go through the customer data platform, transform it, merge it with a profile, and we notify our partner like Mixpanel, like Alfred, to start doing generating the insights and also taking the action. With this, it gives you confidence on taking action on personalization and running in real time. And in fact, real time will able to generate better results. Like from Gartner, it's like 10 times more successful than what they make. That is by comparison, if it's static. How many of you heard about Whopper Detour by Burger King? How many of you? Okay, maybe I can give you an idea. A couple of years back, right, Burger King are thinking about how I can target those customers who is going to McDonald's. Makes sense, right? Right? So what actually they're very aggressive on this one, because what they want is to make sure when the customers stand within 600 feet of a McDonald's store, if the customer has a Burger King app, they want to give them a push notification, give them a voucher, and ask them to go to Burger King, right? This is how a competitive world to try to get business. But the question is how to do it, because this has to happen in real time. And there's actually quite a lot of process in between. Identifying the customer location, notifying my push notification system, working with my loyalty platform to generate the voucher code, push it to the customer is actually an orchestration of multiple tools in real time. So mParticle does here is doing quite a lot of things. Working with their tracking tools to get the GPS location, understand where the customer is, are they 600 feet within a shot, and then we orchestrate and tell my partner, oh, you need to trigger a message, push notification to your to the Burger King app downloader. And then we also work with our loyalty partner in real time generate a voucher code in their loyalty system, which is also activated in their POS system, get the unique voucher code, put it in the mobile push notification, and push it to the customer. It's a complicated process, but we power the Burger King to run it in real time. What's its result? We help Burger King to generate the footfall that is equal to 40 million US dollar spent in the media, right? They basically save 40 millions on media spend by giving them good footfall. They increase 3 times in their mobile sales and mobile engagement within the promotion period, and they drive the highest traffic in the last 4.5 years by doing this Whopper Detour campaign. And what interesting is, after we help Burger King to do it, we invent with all other QSR business. We have McDonald's come to us and say, we want to do the same. We have the chicken spy come to us, they want to do the same. And at the end, everyone making slightly different marketing promotion, but what they want to do is real-time data processing, real-time personalization with complicated data ecosystem. So, amazing, right? So this is exactly what mParticle does. We help business to drive data in real time and do data real-time connections. So a lot of CDP, what they do, of course, they unify the data source. But what we do also in the middle, after ingesting the data, we do validate the schema, make sure your data quality is correct. We do identity resolution. One, build the customer profile, make sure your data is clean before we put to the downstream. This is super important. As I said before, if you don't have a clean data, how you can start doing your personalization with confidence. We do AI machine learning model, we do data governance and also privacy or control before pushing data into downstream. And we do the whole process in real time. So at the end, just want to share with you a couple of customers that we are working with. There's a couple of businesses or a couple of industries that we work with across startup to enterprise, including like McDonald's, KFC, Pizza Hut that I just mentioned about, similar to what we're doing today. We're also very working with a lot of media companies, for example, like HBO Max, Spotify, Disney Plus, and we're also working with FSI industry, especially digital banking, Klarna, buy now, pay later, mobile application solutions. So we are working with quite different types of industry and across different types of sectors. And at the end, a quick introduction about mParticle. Some of you may not have heard about mParticle before, and we are a US-based company, and we're headquartered in New York. We have an office in Singapore and also Australia in Asia. Alfred, I'm located in Singapore. We already got 270 million of funding. We are working with 800 different integration partners available in the market today, and we are processing 400 billion of API calls every month. We are one of the founding members of the CDP industry globally, and are being certified as 2020 World CDP solutions. So if any one of you want to know more about mParticle, we have a small table outside. Feel free to reach out to me if you want to deliver the real-time personalization as I described today. Thank you very much.